scammer. Conservative minds debate the future. From tax cuts to border wall, strategies clash like a political rally. Frustration brews in the chambers. As always, meet new challenges. Dissenting voices rise up, seeking unity, but finding divides. We stand strong, we stand tall. In this party, our spirit will not fall. Though the path is rocky and long, we march forward with hearts full of song.
All right, and we are back on Rebel Republic for a Jimmy Faila recap. We are the best political talk show in all of New York, all of New England. You're either with us or against us. The voice of reason, Frank Cristiano.
What's up?
He's still here. The coach, David Schuin.
Hi.
I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe, and I'm running for Congress. So, your thoughts?
I opened a
can of worms?
Yeah, Pandora's box by advising you to run for Congress.
Pandora's box is a little extensive. I wouldn't call it Pandora's box. I mean, I'm not actually going to win, but I mean, I think that it's special. I mean, I think I have a shot, right?
Yeah.
I'm a Democrat.
Yeah.
I mean, he basically said all Democrats are idiots, but still, I'm a Democrat, so I can run on that platform.
You could.
But I thought what he said about Minnesota was 100% true. And these white idiots are provoking these attacks. And hearing that the shooting of Preddy was coordinated just made me sick. Like, they're communicating. Like, this, I want to find out how to get paid to be a protester. I'll go be a protester. I'll make some money doing that. But they're coordinating these efforts through Signal, through WhatsApp, which encrypts the communication. And there are these groups that go in and they try to obviously, prevent ICE agents from doing their jobs. And why I said Jacob Fry, he's a cuck, because he's telling his constituents, "Oh, just keep doing what you're doing, keep protesting, everything's fine." And then he tells local police to not get involved. Let them do what they do. So this is going on, and while it's happening, people are dying. How is that okay? How is that acceptable? That's what I am so shocked at, Dave.
How is it okay?
Yeah, I mean, he's telling police to stand down.
They don't care. Their people, their constituents are expendable.
No, I know, because they're using them as martyrs. They're using them to protest. That's the whole point of it. They want this to blow up so they can protest.
What we talked about earlier on, that Minnesota or Minneapolis, and specifically, seems to be the testing ground.
Yes,
it's the testing ground for everything, because they have enough lunatics on that side. Yeah, that will do anything when told to do it. They're basically zombies. Go out in the streets. Yeah. But I went on Amazon the other day trying to buy a whistle. I cannot buy a whistle on Amazon. They've all been bought out, and they're all in Minneapolis.
They're all blowing them. Yeah.
Right.
Really?
I don't know. I don't understand how people can get rallied so quickly. I do understand. It's a shit ton of money. It's a shit ton of money and effort and organization that goes in.
How do I get paid? How do I get on this?
Just go online. Go apply. It's only $25 an hour, $30 an hour. Maybe some of the organizers, the bigger guys, get 100 or 150 an hour that they coordinate.
That'll be like our next Rebel Republic project. We'll send me on a
Well, you could be. You're the next Nick Shirley.
Yeah,
you'd be Steve Cully.
Well, I don't want to investigate. I just want to protest. Steve. I will. Find me a protest.
I'll throw. Listen, we'll both go up there. No, we'll both go up there, and I'll throw you in front of a speeding ICE vehicle.
Absolutely,
and just see what happens.
Absolutely.
All right, I like it.
Absolutely.
You could lose a leg on that.
I only have one.
Oh, all right. So you already did lose a leg. All right, then move on.
Let me drive without a license, and then they'll try to pull me out of the car, and then I'll resist.
Right,
and then they'll shoot me.
What vehicle are you driving? Since you don't have one.
Well, I'll drive yours.
No. Okay. I need my vehicle.
Well, I'll rent one.
Yeah.
And then they'll try to pull me out, and I'm a big guy. They won't be able to.
No.
So they'll shoot me.
Right. They're right there, right in the car, because you didn't get out.
And I'll do that I'll die for Rebel Republic.
Right.
And that will be the greatest show ever.
It would be the greatest show ever.
Yeah. But Dave, that's what blows my mind is the protesting. And if Frank is correct on this, a testing ground to see if this works in Minneapolis Do you think that we are really going to start seeing these in other major cities?
Portland has already started.
Portland's invented it.
Yeah, Portland was the first.
Right.
I mean, Portland was a place before COVID that I was seeing the battles in the streets between leftists and people on the right literally fighting each other in the streets.
Yeah.
You know, so you know that's the original breeding ground for all that stuff. But bottom line is this: where did George Floyd happen?
Listen, everything.
Where did it spread to from there?
To the rest of the country, but
so
to
what
liberal
is
cities.
The Democrats' goal? What is the Democrats' goal of this form of insurrection?
It was all because they hate Trump.
The same goal. Do it in other cities. It's just it's a different situation, a different thing. That first one was racial versus the cops. This one is they're coming to take your families. You know, you're next.
They're trying to return the kid.
That's the whole.
The mother was legal. I mean, geez.
The whole Democrat mindset.
Communists. They're not Democrats. They're communists.
Yeah. Let's look at all these rebellious things that happen. These little communist revolutions that have happened around. They're all the same kind of thing. They do the same thing.
Yeah.
Somebody in power does something that they disagree with. They rally everybody to take over the country. Then they starve them all.
Yeah, 100%.
What was the Lenin's revolution in Russia? Same thing.
I don't know that one.
Stalin decided to then just starve everybody. Just that he had extra.
Stalin was bad. Yeah.
You don't know who Lenin is?
Lenin was no better.
Lenin had a big nose.
Lenin sang with the Beatles.
Not that Lenin.
I know. Lenin came before Stalin.
Lenin is the one who led the.
Lenin is Marxist. He was the Marxist guy.
He led the communist. Yeah. Stalin became the president, whatever you want to call
Joseph.
it.
Joseph. I love his name.
After that, but like these people, you know, China goes on today. Just they have no chance. The last time the students tried to uprise against the Communist Party was Tiananmen Square. They just kind of mowed them down.
Right.
And that was what, the 80s maybe?
70s.
No. It was 90s. I think it was the 90s. It was like early 90s.
Tiananmen Square was in the 90s?
Early 90s, I think. I could be wrong.
Well, I have seen.
Yeah, because basically, I think you're right. Because I think when Russia and all of them fell, I think that there was a movement in China to among the younger people to try and usher in something like that. And the Chinese government said, that's not happening here.
Right.
And
right.
They shut them down. But yeah,
89, actually 89, Dave.
Wow, 89.
Really?
Yeah, yes. So after the fall, that's after the fall, right?
It was It was when you remember that student protester actually stood in front of a tank. That was the big symbolism of Tiananmen Square, where the Chinese were putting down an uprising, and everyone is
in front of a tank.
Yeah, everyone was talking about how the uprising was actually induced by the U.S. Going in there, which I'm sure there was some CIA covert action as well and all that. But it's the same thing that's happening right now in Iran. People get fed up with systems that do not allow them to prosper. Now,
you can't grow.
You can't grow. You can fail in capitalism without a doubt.
Yes,
but at least you have an opportunity to succeed and to better yourself and better your family.
Which is why we need to open the doggy daycare.
No.
Okay.
By the way, I want to tell you something on doggy daycares. But I haven't been looking up businesses.
Yeah.
The number one, the top franchises.
Say it.
There. I hate to say this. I have to say it. Number 2 was, what's the name of the dog care franchise? It's a big name, but basically that's the number 2 best franchise you can open.
PetSmart, like PetSmart?
No, it was a dog. There's a dog.
There's a national doggy daycare brand.
Dog care franchise. I'll tell you as soon as I see it, I'll know it.
I've tried to tell Frank, so Frank can actually make money.
Do you have to throw gasoline on this fire?
No, I think it's Dogtopia. I think it is.
Dogtopia.
Listen, all I want is to help Frank.
You would never hire Steve to run it, but you
run it.
You pretty much franchise for yourself, Frank.
I would clean up the piss and shit.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes,
no, you wouldn't. You can't even bend over to get something falls on the ground. How are you going to piss and clean up the piss and shit?
I can mop. I'll do all that stuff.
When I saw it, I said to myself,
I'll give you money. I'll do it all.
It's not overly expensive. There was a whole bunch of different factors, but
no, it's normally a cash business, and most people charge like $25 a day.
Not one in your house. I'm talking about this is a franchise.
Yeah,
your house it definitely is a cash business. I've sent their dog there. He did not like
the one you're talking about. I mean, they do it. It's not in a house. I mean, the place that I take my dog to is a building, a big building. Yeah, it's a big building. It has dog beds. It has toys. But the dog's pissing shit all over the place.
I would hire Steve
constantly clean it up.
Dave, I would hire Steve as the French kisser for the dogs. Like, all right, bring in Steve. The dogs are ready to make out. French kiss the dog, Steve. That would be your job. You'd entertain. I'd pay you. Put it online. We'd make
actually you can work your new jokes on them.
I love dogs. I love dogs more than people.
Come here, Rex. If you had 2 lemons and you're trying to make lemonade,
what do you do?
Would you take oranges and throw them back at life? You didn't like that spot? You didn't like that?
You know what? All three of us are dog owners.
Like this joke.
All 3 of us are dog owners. We should all support this, and that should be our business. We're going to do a doggy daycare.
I actually not saying this to make Frank's life harder, but the only thing as a dog owner that I do find frustrating, because there are great places to buy good food for the dog, anything you want, right?
Chewy's great. Right? Chewy's great. Yeah.
There's a lot of great places for that. The one area that it lacks, and it's the most frustrating thing as a dog owner, is a place that you could take them that you trust if you want to go away for a couple of days, or you want to,
for boarding.
To board them, to take care of them. Yeah. And they have places all over the place. But when I walk in and the person has 50 tattoos, I'm already nervous. You know what I'm saying? No, it's like that's who they hire. They actually take more pride in the pet smarts, like with the people they hire there, their service, than they do on the dog daycare places. Like, I don't know why that is. Maybe Frank has a theory on that, but I'm curious.
Well, more visible to the public. I'm assuming that you're having more and more customers walk in, whether it's a stayover for dogs. Maybe you got 5 dogs a day coming in and out.
Well, the place that we have here, I'll put her over. Bailey's Daily Pet Care. Her and her husband, they do a wonderful job. They live at the place upstairs. They have an apartment above, and they do free boarding, which means the dogs don't have to be crated. They stay downstairs while they're upstairs, and they watch.
They just all run around.
Yeah. It's free boarding.
That apartment must smell like
no. The apartment's upstairs.
Yeah, you don't think smell travels when the dogs are dumping everywhere?
They clean.
I'm sure they do.
After the dog pees, they wipe it down.
Yeah, 24 hours a day.
Yes.
So overnight, the dogs aren't taking any shits. They only shit on command. Please.
They clean it though.
I'm sure they do.
Okay, so
I'm sure they do.
Okay, well,
they take them in there, Frank. Like when you go, when they go into prison, and they douse them with the what is it called?
Louse.
Was it the louser? The delouser? Yeah. They take them in. That's what they do there. They delouse them, and then when they go in the yard, they do whatever they need to do, and then they delouse them again.
So I'm going to change the subject because you're hurting my feelings talking about my doggy daycare. What did he mean, Jimmy Faila, when he was talking about Christine Nome, saying that?
I was interesting, actually.
Yeah,
I thought she was on the side.
Well, Christine Nome, and just like Trump in the beginning, when the news comes out of a killing, automatically it's a homegrown terrorist, against ICE, and they're weaponized, and they're trying to attack ICE agents. Whereas Tom Holman, when he came out, says, "All right, it's happened.
We're going to
tragic, but we got to dig into all the facts." He's doing it more as a law enforcement investigation, whereas Kristi Noem and Donald Trump are giving you political answers that will rally up the part of the country that really backs what they're doing.
What's a nominalist?
I wasn't. It's one of the first times I've been stumped by things. What is it?
Does it mean I'm good?
I don't. I'm looking right now. A philosopher who believes that abstract concepts are universals, don't exist as real things in the world. Instead, are just names, words, labels that humans use to group similar concrete individuals, like a red apple. That's confusing.
Too long of a definition.
That's the shit they're teaching our kids at Princeton.
I don't even know what that is.
I'm Steve Cully. I'm running for Congress. And I'm a nominalist.
Brother John, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Rumors you guys are.
That might be above. I have a high IQ, but I think that's above my IQ.
No, I'm actually a Renaissance man. I don't know if you knew that. Put up. What was the other comment?
If you're a Renaissance man,
I am a Renaissance man. God damn it! And don't say I'm not.
Jim Brown was a Renaissance man. He played football. Yeah.
So
then he left to become an actor.
Well,
then he became an activist for the black community at the same time.
I'm an activist.
At the same time that he also would be critical if someone in the black community, if they weren't upholding this.
I do the same.
Let me think of who else is a Renaissance.
Is a Black Panther.
I do the same. I'm well read. I'm educated. I'm running for Congress. When white people are wrong,
I would say I'm a Renaissance man.
You are. You have an MBA and you went to school for 20 years. Yeah, you had
sports guy. I got wide variety. I say Frank might be a Renaissance man.
Frank is
I am.
too.
I am nothing. I am just
businesses. Yeah, I know.
I'm just a wart on the face of the earth.
He's a little angrier on the Renaissance side.
Yeah, I don't
well,
know.
no, he's just
because he has to deal. That's because he has to deal with Steve.
I mean, one more episode or two and it's over. There's no way I can sit here next.
He's a misogynist.
I am,
but no, I think that I am a Renaissance man, and I have those same beliefs. I'm well educated, well read, and that's why you should vote for me for Congress, because I am going to make a change. I have beliefs. Those who claim to be Democrats should spend 6 months in Cuba with nothing, living under. I hope we listen. I think we should invade Cuba like we did Venezuela. Blow them all up.
Well, we're not going to have to. I think that it's going to implode on its own, to be honest.
It'll capitulate. There's no more money.
And then
the money has run dry.
Iran, I think we need to get involved there. And help the
similar
citizens.
Situation. I think that they have no more money.
The civilians are going to.
The thing that's different about Iran is I believe that I'm glad you brought it up. I believe that Iran's group in power will fight their citizens till the very last moment. Like they will keep killing citizens. They're killing people left and right.
Yeah.
And they will keep killing citizens until they get overtaken.
It's like
Ukraine and Russia.
It's like Minneapolis times 1,000.
Yes.
They don't care about their citizens.
Well, Ukraine and Russia too. I mean, nobody expected that to last as long as it has. Ukraine is still going.
Yeah,
still fighting.
But the thing is with Iran is that at this point we're building up such a military presence there in the ocean. Something's going to happen.
What ocean?
In the Persian Gulf.
Well, that's not the ocean.
Oh, it isn't. No, I apologize.
The Persian Gulf isn't the ocean.
Right. It's not water. Okay. So, but we're building up in the Indian Sea. Okay.
And we're going to
the Indian Ocean, maybe?
Indian Ocean, whatever it's called.
Well, Greenland too. We're going to
Greenland's. We already got Greenland's. Not even.
They don't call it the Indian Ocean anymore. It's not an ocean anymore.
Well, it's just like the Gulf of America. So yeah,
Greenland. If you noticed right now, is a thing of the past.
No, but
there's no chiming points on it right now because it's been decided that we're going to have bases wherever the hell we want them and missile sites wherever the hell we want them.
I agree.
So now we're moving on next thing. But what's happening in Iran is this. We're probably going to look to try to tip the balance of power with military force.
Correct.
Whether that will be by air, or I don't think we're obviously not going to send in ground troops. But you're going to see targeted pinpoint attacks on situational places that Iran holds close to their hearts and to their military might. So that may allow to tip the power. I'm surprised that the CIA is already not into Iran. providing weaponry, providing financial assistance, providing logistics for the again. You have to realize probably the reason it's not as good as strong as it is right now is because these are basically just citizens and students and we're out in the streets marching and protesting. So they may not have an organized group. They're just doing it organized in cities as far as coming up at the same time. So it may be a little slower process, but if the numbers are correct and there's 30,000 dead in Iran from what the Iranian guard have done to these people, have killed them in the streets, and also, they haven't executed publicly, but I'm sure that they're whacking them off left and right behind closed doors.
They had hangings.
No, they haven't. They held off on the hangings.
Oh, they did hold off.
But if that's true, and there's 30,000 dead, I mean, you're working on genocidal numbers.
Oh, yeah. There's no doubt. I mean, they're doing true genocide. Right. What I was going to say is really interesting is this. My father mentioned to me that obviously it's something I didn't know as well, but when integration happened in now I forgot. I don't remember if it was Mississippi or Arkansas. It might have been Arkansas. And was that where or maybe it was Kansas, where the Brown versus yeah, I think it was Kansas.
Brown versus Board of Education.
I think it was Eisenhower, I believe, that that brought in the 82nd Airborne in order to secure the area, right? So it brought in it didn't bring in the National Guard, it brought in and when everything was getting crazy, that secured it. That was it. And now my father was like, if they wanted to solve this, just bring in the 82nd Airborne, and that would the troops right there would protect ICE, and then they would have no issues, whatever. But obviously, that's a very, very probably highly conservative viewpoint in the sense that there would be no BS that would happen if that was the case, and the citizens would not get through. There would
Dave, wouldn't you think that
there would be no such thing as them getting through because the army is not going to, and those are the highest trained, obviously, soldiers that we have. There is no such thing. There's not going to be messing around, and there's not going to be even errors made. Even if you were to argue anything against what happened in the second shooting, when he dearmed the guy, he didn't quickly communicate.
They yelled gun, and he grabbed his gun.
I have the gun. I dearmed him. You know what I mean? So they thought he still had the gun. That kind of whole deal. Whereas that would not happen. That absolutely. First of all, they wouldn't get close. They wouldn't get close.
I just worry about that, Dave. I worry about bringing in.
I agree.
Because if you bring in the National Guard, okay, so they're citizens of that state. They may be citizens of Minneapolis who are joining the Guard. They may know people who are in the streets. They're going to have a better line of communication to actually calm people down. You bring in the military. The military just wants a yes or a no. They don't want any words. They don't want whistles in their ear.
Well,
they don't want pots and pans being banged.
There should not be a debate or an argument.
No, I understand that, but what will happen is, as it's inciting riots and violence right now, I think it would be worse. I think it would be worse because the military is not going to take any shit.
That's what I'm saying. Won't people learn their lesson? I mean,
no.
People have been killed.
No, they won't learn the lesson.
People need to get killed before they stop.
In the Kent State shooting in the 60s.
Yes.
Who was that the National Guard? What was that?
I think it was. Yeah. If I'm correct or incorrect, I thought it was the National Guard.
The protest at Kent State?
Right.
Yeah, was the National Guard.
I wasn't sure. Let me see.
Yeah. I'm just going to guess. I'm almost positive saying that would be the National Guard.
Yeah, it was.
So
one of my teachers
you're
was
right, but I would say they're not as well trained. I would say the 82nd, the Airborne would be very well trained. But you're right. The optics part is a difficult one. And the people in it's
seeing conservatives blame the man who was executed, pretend he was brandishing a gun, and claim he deserved it.
Brandishing gum?
Yeah, she spelt it wrong. And deserved it for being in a Signal group chat is just about as horrifying as the video itself.
Well, I like to respond to that.
Audrey, blow it out your ass.
No, I'm not going to respond the correct way. Here's the thing. Here's what I think happened.
He had a gun.
That's okay. Here, you don't go to a protest.
Steve, let Frank respond.
You don't go to a protest, especially if you're trying to be a peaceful protest with a 9mm and a couple extra clips.
More.
Okay, number one, you don't do that. Okay, so does he deserve to die because he brought it with him? No. Here's what happened. Somehow he must have interfered, so they put him to the ground.
Yeah.
In wrestling, I think personally, the gun fell out. I think the gun fell out, and then the shot went off.
I'll tell you what I saw. I watched. Hold on. I watched every angle on this. Okay, including when the gun is removed by the ICE officer from him. So the only thing I can't tell, I wouldn't be able to tell from the video if it fell or not. Okay, so that I don't know. And there's conflicts of saying that, like, when the ICE officer grabbed it, some people say that it accidentally discharged.
Right.
A shot was fired. Yes.
Right. Like when he took it apart, maybe took it from him, maybe discharged, maybe it fell in discharge. I don't know. Okay. So that I don't know. The only thing I can see, the things that I could see was this. He repeatedly, when those two women were getting into it, okay, he repeatedly went to their aid. Okay. He kept, when they
interfering. He kept interfering.
They pepper sprayed him and the women. And as they were trying to detain the women, he intervened
every time.
Fought the officer. Whether he was trying to stop that, whatever he was trying to do, he was intervening.
He had no business being there, Dave.
He was intervening. When he then got intervened, then they focused on him. Okay. Grabbed him. We're trying to detain him. He did not allow himself to be detained. He fought every ounce of it. Okay.
Refused to comply.
What it looks like when I watch it really slow down too. Okay. Which obviously is not a reflection of what's actually going on in a quick situation. You see it slow down. You see the ICE officer has the gun. He walks away from them with the gun. It doesn't seem like, if it was communicated, it wasn't communicated fast enough that the officer who was probably wrestling with him, and when they said this guy has a gun, they knew he had a gun. Then all of a sudden, who knows in that scrap whether he got punched, this ICE officer, whether he got hit. You don't know. And listen, it could have been friendly fire, meaning like his own guy in a battling of this could have actually elbowed him. And so this becomes a whole thing is the fact that he got shot is a shame.
Yeah, it's a tragedy.
The issue starts, okay, in the fact that you continuing to battle over and over again.
You're interfering.
Continuing to interfere. If we're going to say as a country, anytime we don't like something, we can take action against officers.
Yeah.
Okay. We have anarchy. Yeah. Now, the only way you could do that is if you were leading a revolution against the country. So if you're saying that you're leading a revolution against the country, we did it against the British, right? The British were in charge. You know, if
it would be like a civil war.
Christmas addicts died in the Boston Massacre, which some would argue that Sam Adams, many have argued in history that Sam Adams was a provocateur in order to get the British people to shoot. Okay, and I'm very, very. I've read all about this. I've read John Adams's book. I've read all this stuff. And John Adams actually defended the British officers. Okay, in the shooting of. That's why it's a whole complicated situation, and that's why I say, like, if you're saying you're trying to start a revolution against America, that's a different conversation.
It's a civil war almost.
That's a civil war action against Americans. Now, if he's saying he's just protesting, okay, then if you're protesting, then you're not getting involved in fighting, okay? But when you fight back and you fight against authority, which no one's saying you can't fight against authority, But if you want to fight against authority, then you are consciously saying that I am part of a revolutionary group to fight against the government. Okay.
Just how are his actions benefiting? Those actions are not going to benefit anybody.
No,
so then how are they defendable?
You're putting yourself.
And people say they shouldn't. I have very minimal empathy because I listen. I don't know anybody die, but he put himself in that situation. He resisted law enforcement or federal agents, whatever you want to call them. And he carried a pistol and 2 clips on him. However it happened. I don't blame the officer one bit for pulling out a pistol and starting to shoot, because when he heard the one bullet go off and they're wrestling against this guy and he's fighting it, that's the guy who I'm targeting. No matter what,
his life was on the line.
If you think you're a revolutionary, okay, you're going to pay the consequences, because you're not starting a revolution against America. It's not happening.
Not with the defense we have.
So, and not in a capitalistic society and the government that we all want. So, and I think that's a big. People got to understand. Like, you can't just take up arms against authority unless you are consciously deciding that you were going to be someone that is fighting against America.
Can I say something?
Fighting against.
Can I say something?
Sure.
This is my shirt. This is for Turtle Boy, my hero. Turtle Boy did a peaceful protest for the Karen Reed trial. Remember we talked about Karen Reed?
Yes, we did that. Yeah.
He got charged with witness intimidation. He did what was called a rolling rally. So he coordinated a group of people, and they went from witnesses house to house. They stayed on public property, the roads, the sidewalks, and they would go to the witness's house, and Turtle Boy had a blowhorn, and he would ask them questions. You know, why did you Google how long to die in the cold at 2:30 in the morning to one of the witnesses? To one of the state troopers, he Googled, how come you spelled the witnesses' names wrong on the affidavit, which he did, the probable cause affidavit. He went to about 10 different witnesses' house. They stayed on public property. They didn't fight, interfere, cause damage, anything. That was a peaceful protest. He got charged with 16 counts of witness intimidation in Massachusetts, because Massachusetts is a liberal disaster, like everyone. But that, compared to what they're doing in Minnesota to the ICE agents, is like night and freaking day.
Yeah,
you know, they're attacking these guys. They're throwing stuff at them.
Right. You bring a weapon to a quote unquote protest. You're saying something. You're saying that if the shit goes down, right? Am I right?
I'm lighting it up.
I'm lighting it up.
I might light it up.
I'm not saying he is or he isn't. He's saying if the shit goes down, I might light it up. Right.
Your life's in danger. You're in fear for your life. You have every right to defend yourself.
You would not have a weapon on you if you don't
intend to use it.
To yourself, if the shit goes down. Listen, I mean, there's no way you would leave the weapon at home.
Dave, right now, here's the polar opposite example. State of Louisiana. ICE just left Louisiana. They were there for about a month. Total cooperation by the local law enforcement, cooperation by the prisons, cooperation by all governor on down.
They were in and out.
Yep. They picked out who they had to do. They wrapped up who they had to wrap up. They shipped them out.
Gone.
And they left. No violence, no protesting, no picket lines, no nothing.
No casualties.
No nothing. Nobody got hurt. They did their job. They were assistant doing the job. They found who they had to find, and they're out of the state. And maybe they got to go back later on because someone else all of a sudden pops into that state, a fugitive. But bottom line, they did what they had to do, and it's over with. Minnesota, I'm telling you right now, there's got to be a shit ton of George Soros money and his son dumping money into that testing ground. Every time there's some kind of a spark, they do it there in Minneapolis because they know that they can get away with it because the people will jump into that, whether they're being paid or whether they have been brainwashed to be a liberal left.
Who's George Soros?
And Soros,
liberal billionaire.
Oh,
and
well,
Soros has
I gotta get paid back.
in his pocket. Walls is in his pocket.
Yeah, I want to be in his pocket.
Yeah.
How do I get in his pocket?
Yeah. Just
go protest. You get
that's all. Yeah, carry a sign. But so my example is just to Audrey. So Audrey, at your local gas station where you go almost every day, I have planted a bomb.
And
the bomb will go off at 5:30. Okay, Audrey, do you go there at 5:30? You don't. Why? Because you fear for your safety. You don't want to put your life in jeopardy. These people that are going to protest and are crossing the line and becoming physical, violent, okay, and are carrying weapons have crossed the line, and that line is not to be kidded around with.
So, Audrey, you're bringing up someone that Trump pardoned from the insurrection. He's going to stand trial next month for child sex abuse and molestation. Well, first of all, he's innocent until proven guilty. Second of all, you can't single out one person who was pardoned for an insurrection as an example compared to the rioters of what's going on in Minnesota. That completely makes no sense. You make no sense.
Listen, let me explain this. Great. So Trump pardoned somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. That did that from the rioters. He decided to pardon this person.
And he broke the law.
And then the guy broke the law, and he's now arrested and will go to jail. That's exactly how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works.
If he did child sex abuse and molestation, which is terrible, if he committed other crimes, he will then go to jail.
Thank you for proving my point. I really appreciate it. Because this is the problem, Dave. Half these people are ignorant, willfully ignorant, and this is why we are having issues.
It's not even ignorant. It's just whatever
they are though.
Want to push. They're pushing an agenda. If
because
the
they're ignorant.
Orange man bad. Seems to be the agenda always of everything.
Because they're ignorant.
Bad, and until Orange Man goes off into the sunset when he's done with his political career,
he's not going off into the sunset. He's going to run again.
No, Dave.
No, it'll be either Rubio or Vance.
Trump's going to run again.
Dave,
Trump's gonna run again.
So here are the two examples. Trump has deported, like Jimmy Faila said, probably close to 1 million right now. Okay. And he's done it with ICE enforcement agents, and due to doxing and due to people, their families being in jeopardy and them being threatened, they're covering their faces up when they're doing most of these apprehensions. Okay.
Yeah.
Obama deported 2.5 million. Yep. Okay. Over his tenure. He used federal ICE agents to be able to do this.
They were under a different name.
They went in. Okay. They apprehended who they had to apprehend, and they took them out. They didn't have to cover their faces because there was no one blowing whistles in the streets.
And throwing
there were no lunatics that were jumping in front of cars. They weren't lighting dumpsters on fire. Right. Okay. And no citizen got arrested. No citizen got, and in this case right here, you have to realize the only reason is they loved the way Obama presented himself in a statuesque way as president.
Hatred of
they
Trump.
hate Donald Trump and the way he talks down and demeans people. And so it's very easy
he's real.
It's very easy for the companies that need to make money off of conflict, which is called the media. It's very easy for the media to rile up people that are weak-minded. You're weak-minded if you don't see this, okay? Compassion only goes so far. Empathy only goes so far.
You don't have any.
I don't have it because
it's not weak-minded. They're ignorant.
No,
Frank.
they're not ignorant. They know. They can't tell the difference between black and white.
That's ignorance.
No, they're weak. They don't want to admit. They don't want to admit that crime is down 100% at the lowest level it's been since the 1900s in this country. No. They don't want to admit that the people, most if not all, that are being deported right now are criminals, violent criminals that are being dumped out of these countries. Yeah. They don't want to admit that the government has every right to go in and to control these matters in a forceful or non-forceful way. They don't want to admit it. They know it. They know it's black and white. They don't want to admit it.
Yes. And if you interfere in a federal investigation, you're going to get charged. You're going to get arrested. Now, our good friend Erica posted on Facebook a picture of the ICE agent and Peretti getting shot.
Yeah.
And it looked like murder. It looked like he was shot.
Sure,
and that's what she said.
I could take a still picture. I could take a still picture of anything and make it look like it, especially with AI.
She said,
hey, AI. I would like to design a gentleman with a ice jacket.
She wanted me to show
and a mask, and I like him pointing a gun and shooting it at a guy with blue hair on the ground.
She wanted me to show
you. Can make up anything. I don't even care what she wants to show me. I don't care what she wants to show me because I can put you any angle, anything like that. Bottom line, what you need to know is this. You don't bring a gun and 2 clips to a protest. You don't assault officers that are trying to do their job.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't re-assault people that are trying to do their job. You don't jump in front of vehicles that are driving that are federal
battle
vehicles.
In the courts.
Exactly. That's what makes us different than Iran or Iran.
Right.
That's what makes us different.
Right.
It doesn't matter what.
This was a picture she did.
Yeah. That makes total sense.
An execution.
Yeah. Well, it's not okay. That wasn't when he fired. Okay. He was. I think he was. It was almost on turning on his side when he fired. But it doesn't matter. You can post what you want.
That's the point.
Sure, he did. Because a gunshot went off.
Yeah, and then that's why he should have been shot if he was fired at.
All I'm saying is, people don't understand it. Stay on the sidewalks, wave your flags, hold up your signs, blow your whistles, stay on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
And don't get in front of their way because then if you do, you're fair game.
Yeah. Like Dave, it's like if you see someone who gets pulled over for a traffic ticket or whatever, are you going to stop, get out of your car and go investigate and say, hey, why don't you leave this guy alone? What do you think's going to happen to you?
It's ridiculous.
That's what blows my mind. It's like people don't do that. Like that's the stupidest thing you could do. You're going to interfere in a federal investigation.
But you know what? They won't interfere. Here's what makes me sick about this.
And Jimmy was right. It is white people.
Another citizen being attacked by another citizen.
No, they'll video.
They won't interfere on that.
They'll video it and put it on TikTok.
Some woman getting beaten up by some guy in the street.
Yeah,
they won't interfere on that.
No, they'll video.
No, they won't interfere on that because they're chicken shit.
They'll video.
Okay, they won't interfere in that because they might get their ass whooped.
No, you know why, Dave? They interfere and they won't interfere on that. You're right, because they're scared there may be some kind of violent repercussions from them jumping in on 2 citizens. But they will gladly jump in when it's a citizen and a federal agent, because no matter what they do to the federal agent, they don't expect him to return violence.
Correct.
And after a while, the situation or the action warrants violence. And that's what they're doing. They're teetering the line and they're going way over the line now.
Yeah.
And it's got to stop.
I agree.
Out of all this right now, if we don't see Waltz and the mayor,
the cuck,
prosecuted at some point, for obstruction of justice,
Fry is a cuck.
Then we're never. It's what's going to happen is like it happens everywhere else. All these politicians do all this crooked shit, and nobody gets prosecuted. Nobody goes to jail. Nobody pays anything. It's ridiculous. If there's no demonstrative effort to put these 2 who are responsible for almost all of this. They are responsible for all of this, for allowing it to go on and not supporting the agents so they can be in and out. Then those guys, then there's an injustice in this country. They should be put away.
Yeah. And I think Jimmy was 100% right that the problem is with these white Democrats, who I call communists.
It's a lot of times women that are like,
it is. Yeah. Because they have nothing else to do. So let's go protest.
I mean, why don't you go take care of your kids, for God's sake?
Yeah, go be a mom. What
the fuck?
Go watch Martha Stewart. I mean, or go give your husband a blowjob. I mean, do something productive.
There you go.
Yeah, give BJ's.
The bottom line is that it's a situation where we're conflating. We're taking a world that was once where we protested against actual maybe racial injustice or actual, like in the 60s, actual like civil rights, where there was actually a group that really was in a situation where the water fountain was for white people and the water fountain was for black people, right? They were separated. Like there were actual injustices that people were fighting for. And now what they're fighting for is people that aren't even citizens of the United States that are committing crimes. How far their mind is gone.
It's ridiculous.
It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's you know, it's one of these things that's
we've lost our values and our principles. I mean, these people
have lost them.
There's no naturalism.
The Somali thing, like, have you saw any of the videos of the town in Maine?
Yes. Is it Lewiston?
Lewiston.
Yep. Yeah. It's insane. They said that it was the year 2000, I think. Yeah, where 200 to 300 Somalis came to Portland, and Portland didn't have the housing facilities for them, so they sent most of them to Lewiston. And within the last 25 years, they've grown to a population of 30 or 40,000 Somalis in Lewiston, Maine.
Correct.
And the way that they operate there is akin to a crime family. Basically, it is. It's a legal crime family because all they're doing is milking government subsidies. They're milking grants. They're milking government assistance. And taking it and using it for overseas activities, using it to ship it out to other places, and I'm sure possibly using it for political advantage to be able to drop their money third party into somebody's account who's running as a liberal.
Yeah. Well, Dave, just I'd like to say we'll sign off. This has been a phenomenal episode. Thank you to Frank for getting Jimmy Faila to come on. I think he made some incredible points. We're going to go see a show at the Rome Capitol Theater. So Frank, the voice of reason, Dave Schumann, the coach. I'm Steve Cully, the best podcast host in the universe. Just remember, when life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, throw them back at life. And I'm Steve Cully, and I'm running for Congress.